it's the foot. Oh, they're gonna walk under it. Oh my word, Jesus help
What's
them.
happening, but I'm scared.
Jesus help it. Is that gonna land in the scaffolding? We're building a she shed, or is it a she barn? This is part 4 in our family build series from Raising Cain. Oh my men. Well, the long story short is we had a shed. I made it up. Ben built it. It got old. And then we decided we needed more shed space. So I had some inspiration from friends and from Pinterest, and I do love that color scheme. Gonna do that. And I love the front doors on that and the offset gables. And this has offset gables with one really tall one. And then I made a mock-up that was terrible, but it gave us a general idea of what we were doing. And then I did a better mock-up showing the doors and the better shapes. And then I did it with the darker paint colors because I'm just loving that dark brown truffle color or timber bark. Now, from the side, the original shed is only 10 feet, but 22 feet is the new one. And the reason we're building it is because my daughter and her husband and their baby that's due in May are going to move back in our house with us, and I'm emptying 2 bedrooms to make room for my precious little daughter and her family to move in. Now, I just drew out some basic I built it to scale as much as I could on just notebook paper. I used every line was a 1 foot increment, up and down. And you can see that we're going to be putting a lot of the furniture, all the furniture that was in the 2 bedrooms upstairs. And I'm going to have all these shelves. This will be amazing. I've dreamed of these shelves all my life. I'm still pinching myself. I hope it comes true. It should come true at this point. Okay, we're building a loft. Now, when I said to Ben loft, I was thinking maybe something that good, but Ben just can't sort of do anything. He's building it so that we could actually stand up there in the loft. And it's going to happen anyway because the building is very tall. Okay, I'm showing you these images of decor in there. I mean, these are ideas and tools. And then there's another little loft, which is in a much more reasonably sized shed building. But this one is going to be the skyscraper of she sheds, which to get it tall enough for the gable to be above. Oh, these are curtains. I'm gonna cover up some of my tubs of decor, and I have a massive vintage china collection, and I use them. I do use them. I rotate them out, and I love them, and I use them. And we've used them for weddings. We've used them at least 3 weddings. Okay, so there's drop cloth. I'll probably do mine out of drop cloth. I did find this vintage sink. It's actually a double wash tub, but it has Flex Seal put in the inside. Does hold water, does have drain holes. It is ideal. Look at that. It's ideal. Okay, so we are doing all of this. That's my husband and my son starting the floor. So this video is going to show a lot of progress. Up to this point has not been very exciting because we've had to clear the space and such. We have a floor. I'm so excited. Floor. What do you think, Mark? We've had to clear the space of all the underbrush and move a chain link fence that was half crushed from a tree anyway. And we had to have the tree trimmers come out and take down 2 massive trees that were too close to it. But once we started putting floor down, it started actually looking like it was going to be a shed. And at this point, I'm like, this is a pretty good size building here. You can try to imagine what your dimensions are going to look like, but it's really hard until you see it in real life. And I knew I needed it to be big enough to do what we needed, but wow, it really looks big in real life. Okay, so Lowe's expects you to pay, donate a kidney, take out a mortgage and everything else for each window. I'm so insulted at the high prices of windows, and I know this is what everybody charges. And I did try to find windows on Facebook Marketplace, but Ben was concerned that if they'd been handled roughly, sometimes that vacuum on the insulated windows, if they get jarred, it will crack open and then it'll be foggy between the panes. And then it's practically, you got to replace it at that point. And he said, I just get the new ones. And I was like, oh, this is killing me as a thrifter. I can't even take it. Lowe's should know us on a first name basis at this point. They should know us and our dogs and our children and our children's children. We just feel like we have contributed to their welfare, boosted the economy in our area. All right. So we have endured some cold temperatures. This day that these clips were filmed, the wind chill was 28. That's real cold for Alabama, y'all. We're not used to that. I had on 3 shirts and a coat and a ball cap and a boggin and 2 scarves, and we had a fire going. Mercy, so cold. Then we brought all the men Whataburger. We just recently had a Whataburger built in our town, so that's kind of new and different for us. So Sam was eating them straight out of the package. They get so hungry, but they're working hard. I understand. Oh my word. Okay, now they're framing out the wall that will go against the original shed. Now, the top of the original shed had to be trimmed off. The overhang of that roof had to be made flat so that the new shed wall could go flush against it. And they realized that there were some overhanging limbs that they had to take care of. And they, of course, waited till it was dark to do that and had to shine a big old spotlight. And they send the young one up there. Joel's 21. Well, he'll be 21 in May. He won't be 22 in May, surely. I'm losing track of my children's ages, y'all. Well, there's 5 of them. It's kind of hard. I know the year they were born, but you also know that I don't do math. So, it's a challenge for me to know exactly how old any of my children are. But anyway, they're sending the young one up there because they assume he's more agile. He weighs the least of them, I'm pretty sure. And I'm back here with the fire. I'm so sore. I've walked around and picked up the scrap pieces of wood and, pieces of limbs and everything else. And I kind of try to keep the work area tidy. Too much.
Just give him a lean, Sam, and let him tap it. Or Joel. Just give a lean and let Sam tap it. Don't push, just like a lean.
Where that window is on the original shed, there will be a doorway between the original and the new. So that wall won't be there and that window won't be there. It's broken anyway. I think somebody slung a rock out of the lawnmower and broke the window years ago. But that will be open. And I am very glad that Ben, with his carpentry skill, he was on a construction crew while he went to Auburn to get his engineering degree. So he built houses and was on a crew that built houses. So he's always done all our handiwork and our remodeling and all the things, and he's teaching all the sons and sons-in-law how to do all these things. And I love it that he has bought them all tool belts over the years. You know it's cold in Alabama when the men wear their boggins. We don't, I don't know what people call them in the rest of the world, but if it's a crocheted or knit cap and it's on your head, it's a boggin. So you'll notice the Green Bay Packers theme going on. All my guys love Green Bay Packers, and they went to Wisconsin in December and watched them play a game, and I thought that was amazing and a lifetime trip for them. I think that they had a wonderful time, even though it was extremely cold, like, something like 8 degrees some of the time. But they had a great time, and it was wonderful. This is the view out my back door. And now we're going to talk about the metal roof color options. We are going to go with a metal roof, and you can choose billions of colors, but I noticed that the color options are like twice as expensive as silver, and I like the silver just fine, and it's half the cost. So we're going to be going with silver. These are just images from Pinterest. That paint, that brown paint with the silver roof, I thought that looked good. And here's the truffle paint, and that biscotti would be like the trim color. And I've also seen the color timber bark, which is very similar. Olivia and I are just doing what it takes to stay alive. We can't stand not to be out there and see what's happening some of the time, but it's so extremely cold. We are so bundled up, and the men actually leaned up big pieces of siding behind us using as scaffolding to keep us shielded from some of the wind, and it did help. And we also had 2 propane heaters out there because the wind was blowing and we could not keep the fire from the smoke from blowing straight in our faces. So we just had to use the propane heaters. Thank you. Here. They're getting ready to raise that wall, and they're putting 2x4s under the top edge so all of them can get their hands under it and raise it up at the same time. Now this wall is much heavier because they went ahead and put that exterior siding on it, and that stuff is heavy.
With your legs.
I see that they've got a leg already attached to the ride over there.
You got it. How many pounds do you think that is?
1,000? it's the foot. Oh, they're gonna walk under it. Oh my word, Jesus help
It's
them.
happening, but I'm scared.
Jesus help it.
That might be scooted this side.
Jesus help them. Jesus help them.
I'm scared.
Where's that foot landing, Libby? On the right, can you see?
Not even closer. He's got it. What does that mean?
Come down.
Come down.
Come down with it a little. This is a barn. This is not a she shed. This is a barn.
It's huge. It's dangerous.
I don't know yet. They're fixing to nail it in. Jesus help it. Jesus help it.
The wind don't come too strong.
I rebuke the wind in Jesus' name. No wind right now. Careful, son. Oh.
Alright, y'all.
Where are you saying it came apart? On that far end? They can nail that back down.
Everybody just hold it.
Well, I'm saying over here it came apart. But I just hit it right here. It did that whenever it hit the concrete
I certainly prayed a prayer of praise and thankfulness when that huge heavy wall was stood up and had proper braces on it. I really wasn't truly confident about it until they got the back wall raised, which made it, even more sturdy. But I know Ben knows what he's doing. It just, I can't help but realize that this is not just, tea party over here. This is pretty serious business. And if Ben was not trained and did not know what he was doing, I would be more nervous, but I know I have 100% confidence in him. I know he knows what he's doing. And we do ask the Lord to help us be safe and to make good decisions and to be alert. And I'm sure you heard me rebuking that any wind would blow while that thing was still just free flying. Ella, she cannot stand but to come and check on me ever so often, and she loves to go under the arm of my chair and get as close to my face as she possibly can. She's a sweetheart, actually. She doesn't have a lot of good manners, but we love her. So Livy and I sat out there as long as we could stand it, and then we went to the grocery store and bought ingredients to make taco soup. And these men were so hungry by the time they came in after dark. We had the soup ready, we had cornbread, we had all kinds of other chips, Fritos and corn chips and all kinds of tortilla chips, that stuff, sour cream. The men were so hungry that they bypassed the regular bowls and literally searched through the cabinets for mixing bowls. And they ate out of mixing bowls. That's how much taco soup they ate. Okay, now this will be fun. To get that wall nailed to the floor. Do you see the rope? They hung a rope over the top and pulled pressure on it so that the wall, which was bowed up just a little bit, a lot of this lumber, most lumber, I guess, is going to have some natural curvature to it, and you have to straighten that out. So They had me using the nail gun because it took all the men to push that wall down to where it touched the floor.
Ready?
Olivia's giggling at Joel and Ryan, who are having to sit on a loop in the rope on one side, and Sam's sitting in a loop on the other side, and Ben's on top, pounding the top down with a huge maul, and I'm down here trying to get under the ladder to the base of the wall and shoot the nails into the right spots, and I did great. I don't love to do it, but I did it. Look at my pretty little girl sitting here, keeping warm. I love her so much. I love all my kids. Alright, next day. This was Monday. Ben took off work Monday and Tuesday. Thank God he did not also take off Wednesday because we were just about all dead, tired, sore. Just, my word, so tired. But, hey, we got the 2 main walls up the day before. Sunday afternoon, Sunday night. Then on Monday, we get the back wall and the front wall put into place. But Monday is the day that I keep the twins. I've been doing this for a couple, 2 or 3 times in a row. I guess I can go ahead and say that Lauren and Thomas are taking classes to qualify to adopt a child. And this is something brand new for our family. We've not done this before. Nobody in our family has adopted. So I keep the twins. So that's why you're not seeing Lauren and Thomas in a lot of these when you do see the boys, the twins. But those boys are so strong. And they have so much energy. And it takes just about all of us to keep an eye on them. And if you don't believe in leashes on toddlers, you're just going to have to avert your eyes and just take your opinions elsewhere, because we were out here in a situation where we could not risk letting the boys get away from us. So the boys have leashes. The girls are easier to keep them near us, but the boys are super interested in every single thing that there can possibly be to touch. How sweet is that? At the end of the night, we did roast marshmallows and hot dogs. And we had toys outside, and we had wagons.
Hey, where's Aunt Mallory's phone? He's like, I'm trying to hit this ball. I got one. Yeah, he's posted. Hit the ball. Oh, still close. Oh, good job. Hey, Dean.
We had a good time watching Dean wear that helmet. He loves hats, any hat, Santa hats. And of course, every hard worker needs some sippy cup juice, obviously.
What you got? What you got? Show me your gloves, Dean.
Now this is Ridge, and he had already played with every single toy he could, and reached every single tool. He was fascinated with the little speed square that's shaped like a triangle and it has numbers on it. By the way, both these boys can read like a first grader. It's amazing. The men are moving toys so that they can lift the front wall. Did I show lifting the back wall? I don't know if I did, but it is up already at this point. Once the twins came, they were my focus, and I literally just have kind of a blur of some details on this particular day because I really was focused on the boys, trying to keep them from getting hurt. We ended up going back in the house and watching some TV and eating some snacks. That was a fun time. But okay, so you see the big opening in the middle. That's going to be the double doors on the front, and then each side will have a window, a 24-inch wide window, 24 by 36. And there's the heater and another heater. That was another thing. We had to keep the children from touching the heater, either of the propane heaters. That would have been awful. And here's Waldo. I guess his ears were hot in that moment. But he's holding that big spotlight so that the others can see what to do. They're putting additional 2x4s on top to connect the walls, the front wall, to the side walls. And that's what they would have also done on the back. And they're all just climbing around on ladders like they belong in the circus. My word. Olivia did this filming for me. I was inside at this point. They really work well together. Okay, at this point, do you see that Joel is just balancing that light on his head and holding the legs? Oh, he tickles me. And Ben's up and down that ladder like he's a young man. You know, he's 57. For the love. He does great. So, I'll take this opportunity to apologize to our wonderful next door neighbors, Regina, David. I'm sorry for all the noise and the spotlights and the saws and the air compressor that runs the nail gun. I know you're next door to us, and I know you can hear all this, and I just hope you still love us after the shed is built. We really love y'all. Okay, next day. Looking like a structure. Looking like a structure. Now this day, no one was available to help this day except Joel and me. And I worked too hard. I really did. But I couldn't help it. Oh, and Ben kept losing his chapstick, so I nailed it to the wall. I mean, I was tired of that. Okay, here's a refresher on what this loft is kind of based on. This is the idea. This is, when Ben saw this, he said, oh, I'm doing that, because he immediately could imagine the grandkids up there. Okay, so we've put a beam across for the loft. And now they're getting ready. Look at this. Look at this thing that Ben does with his head. Rubs the top of his head. Now watch, Joel. That is so funny to me. They did it right, one after the other. Okay. And of course Ella has to make sure she's getting all the attention possible when anybody sits down for a minute. So Ben's checking all the walls to make sure that they are level and square and perfectly lined up, and he's marking 16-inch centers for those beams that are going to be the loft floor. And there's the first rafter or floor beam for the loft. I'm really excited at this point. The next thing we'll do is put the roof on. I'm ending up with this cute little picture of Claire because that is how my body and my spirit feel after 4 straight days of this. Thank you for all your prayers for my family.